Okay. And Sri Devi Mataji has also joined. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So let me share my screen and then we can go for the agenda for today. So today we will be covering verses 34 to 38. We are we are nearing the chapter 1, end of the chapter 1 basically. And it gives me immense pleasure that all of you have stuck around till the first chapter. And the thing is that the first chapter of the Bhagavad Gita is just a kind of an introduction. We just, we have seen like what's going on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. But the real stuff actually starts from the second chapter onwards. And then as we progress deeper into the other chapters of Bhagavad Gita, we will come to see that, okay, things get more serious now, okay, from here on. So just one or two more sessions left to finish off, chapter 1, and then we can start with chapter 2. So as usual, this particular session is dedicated to the founder Acharya of ISKCON, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. I would also like to dedicate this session to my spiritual master, His Holiness Jai Pataka Swami Maharaj, Guru Maharaj ki Jai. And whatever I'm going to say, I will merely repeat what I have, read in the books of Srila Prabhupada, what I have heard in the lectures of Srila Prabhupada, and what I have learned from the Guru Parampara and my Siksha Gurus here at ISKCON. So this will be the agenda. First, we'll do some Banglacharan to invoke auspiciousness, and then we will go to Slokas 34 to 38, and then finally we'll have question and answers, as usual. So I'll perform some pranam mantras. Those who know can just repeat after me while staying at mute. And those who don't know, just try to listen very intently, because listening is also very, very purifying. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kadamahayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padkamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagra Jatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagan Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenbandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapt Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prem Pradayate कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरत्विषे नमः नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघिते गिरि यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरं हरि ओम तत्. All right, so let's start with the session. I will bring things up. I presume all of you can read today, right? How many of you can read? Can you just give me an indication by raising your hand? Okay, Ishita Mataji is there. Okay, Ivana Mataji is there. Shweta Mataji is there. Sakshi Mataji, Ishita Mataji. Okay, all of them. Good, nice. Okay, let's start then. Okay. So in the previous sessions, like we saw that Arjun was giving some, excuses for not fighting. And the first excuse which he gave was that he said, "Oh Krishna, these are my family members, right? Out of body consciousness, he said, okay, these are my family members, so I don't want to kill them." Okay, so this was the compassion. Okay, he was overwhelmed with compassion actually towards his family members, so he didn't want to fight. And then he started giving some he started naming some people, that who all were present in the battlefield and how they were related to him. And that is what we saw in the verses 32 and 33. So today we'll continue with 34 and 35, and we'll see, like, what uh, Arjun is trying to say here. So, okay, we'll go in alphabetical order. Yes, Ishita Mataji, you can just try repeating after me, and then we can. I think we have already read the translation and the purport. We will read the translation again. Purport, like, I can give the references as and when required. Okay. Let me increase the font. Okay. This works. Mataji, are you able to see the screen?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Yes, I can
Yeah.
see the screen.
Okay. And the fonts are also pretty clear, or shall I increase it further?
For me, it looks clear. Yes.
Okay. Please repeat after me. Etana hantumikchami.
Prabhuji, can you repeat that?
Etana hantumikchami.
Eta namantumicchami
Gnatopi madhusudana.
yatopi madhusudanam
Api trailokya rajyasya.
api trailokya rajasya
Heto kinnu mahikrite.
heto kinnu mahikrite
Nihatya dhartarashtrannah.
nihatya dhatra rashtrana
Dhartarashtrannah. Ka priti syar janardana.
ka priti sajana Prabhuji, can you help me?
Janardana. Sya Janardana.
Sya Janardana.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So just read the translations, Mataji. I think we have seen this in the last session also. So purport, no need to read again.
Okay. The translation says, "O Govinda, of what avail to us are a kingdom, happiness, or even a life itself when all those for whom we may desire them are now arrayed in the battlefield?" Second. O Madhusudana, when teachers, fathers, sons, and grandfathers, material uncles, father-in-law, grandsons, brother-in-law, and other relatives are ready to give up their lives and properties are standing before me, why should I wish to kill them, even though they might otherwise kill me? O maintainer of all the entities, I am not prepared to fight with them, even in exchange for 3 worlds, let alone this earth. What pleasure will I derive from killing the sons of Dhritarashtra?
Okay. So much, Mataji. Yes. So very interesting words we'll see, and some very interesting insight. Actually, we'll come to see that if you read the purport of Srila Prabhupada very scrutinizingly, then we'll come to know that how, we'll actually relish the nectar of these verses actually. Okay. So right now we see in this particular verse, what Arjun is doing is that he has arranged for the entire battle, and now he's saying that, "Oh Krishna, I don't want to fight." Right? So just imagine how, if maybe Krishna is, like Almighty, and is all knowing basically, but just imagine if some normal humans like me or you would have been in place of Krishna, what would our reaction have been? Right? Someone has arranged for the entire battle, and now he's saying that, oh, I don't want to fight, I don't want to kill my kinsman, right? So the important points which we can take away from this particular verse is, first of all, that Arjun is just naming, who are the people, as if before start of the battle he was not knowing that who all are going to come, right? So we'll see, from the previous verse also, we'll just take and we'll see that who all Arjun is actually naming in this particular verse. Okay, so he says Acharyaha means teachers, Pitaraha, those who are contemporary to his father. Okay, Putras tathaiva, that means Putras means those who are equivalent to his sons. Pitamaha, grandfather, right? Matulaha, maternal uncles or mama. Okay, Shwasuraha, fathers-in-law. Potraha, that means grandsons, right? Shyalaha, brothers-in-law. And Sambandhinastatha, that means all the relatives. Okay, so all are there. So the thing is, so what Arjun is trying to explain to Krishna, that okay, Krishna, I don't want this Rajya, the kingdom, or happiness, or even life, right? Because see, why do we try to get all these things in our lives? Okay, maybe nice opulence, or happy life or something, just for the relatives who are around us, right? And now Arjun is saying that the very same relatives are just standing, as opponents in the battlefield. And what is the use of this, whole kingdom and happiness and or life itself, right? So let me not fight, even though they are prepared to kill me. I won't, kill them. I don't want to fight. Oh Krishna. Okay. So he's saying here. So some very important, takeaways we can take from the purport of Srila Prabhupada here. So another reason what Arjun is trying to give here is, I would just read from the purport. Um, Everyone wants to show his opulence to friends and relatives, but Arjun fears that all of his relatives and friends will be killed in the battlefield, and he will be unable to share his opulence after victory. So you see, even Arjun was so bewildered that he also actually wanted to show off the opulence, and that is exactly the case with each and every one of us today, right? This whole social media thing, that is there today, is what, nothing but show off, basically, right? To especially to our friends and relatives. Okay, so we all like showing off. We all like to, kind of glorify ourselves in front of others. And exactly this is what Arjun was also expecting, that after having all the kingdom and opulence, he will be able to show off. But then he realizes, after seeing all his kinsmen on his battlefield, that okay, everyone is standing against me, right? So then what is the point? Like, to whom I shall show off all of these things, right? So he's trying to give these arguments to Krishna. Okay. And another very important thing, I would just like to come there. Just give me a second. Mhm. Yes, one very important thing is that Arjun is calling Krishna here, referring to him as Janardana. Okay. So what is the meaning of Janardana, first of all? So Janardana means, Jana means people, and Ardana means one who kills the people. Okay. So Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, he actually says about himself, okay, paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma sansthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Okay, that means to protect the saintly people, paritranaya sadhunam, and vinashaya cha dushkritam. That means to kill the miscreants. Okay, so and to reestablish the dharma. Okay, principles of dharma. Okay, that means dharma sansthapanarthaya Sambhavami Yuga Yuga, that I will appear in each and every yuga. Okay, every yuga I'll appear to perform these three activities, basically to save the saintly people, to kill the miscreants, and to reestablish the principles of dharma. Okay, so that is why Arjun is referring here to Krishna as Janardana, right? That means he is saying indirectly to Krishna that, oh Krishna, you are Janardana, you are the killer of people. So if at all you have, if we have to kill someone, why don't you do it? Why are you forcing me to do such a heinous act? Right? And this we can see from the purport of Srila Prabhupada. So that is the reason why I said that if we read the purports very scrutinizingly, we will be able to relish the nectar of these verses. Okay. So Arjuna did not want to kill his relatives, and if there were any need to kill them, he desired that Krishna should kill them personally. Right? That is the reason why he is referring to him as Janardana. Okay. And another very important point, like if we read further down in the purport, okay, that is the devotee of the Lord does not retaliate against the wrongdoer. Right here, Arjun is saying that even if my relatives are actually, have done so much of wrong, to me and my family, even if they are ready to kill me on this battlefield, I don't want to kill them. Right. So this is the mood of a devotee. Right. He is always non-violent and very, compassionate towards each and every living entity around them. Okay. But what he says, but Lord does not tolerate any mischief done to the devotee by the miscreants. Okay, but Krishna will not tolerate. The Lord can excuse a person on his own account. Okay, but he excuses no one who does any harm to the devotees. That means if we offend the Lord, then Krishna may forgive. Okay, that's exactly what he did to Indra. During the Govardhan Lila, right? When Indra was pouring down rains in anger, just to showcase his power to the Brajvasis, and the entire Vrindavan area of Vrindavan was getting submerged in water. The first impulse which Krishna had was to let me, just by my mere glance, burn down the heavenly planetary system of the Indra. Okay, he's basically the ruler of the heavenly planetary systems. He's the king of the heavenly planetary systems. Krishna wanted to burn it away, just like that. But then, out of compassion, he knew that okay, Indra is nothing in front of him, or in front of this entire vast creation. Right? His like existence is negligible. Right? So, out of that compassion, he just decided otherwise. Yeah, okay, let me just do something by which he can be taught a lesson, and the people of Raja can also be saved, by this downfall. Okay, so if you offend the Lord personally, he can forgive you. But if you offend any devotee of the Lord, then Krishna never forgives. Even if the devotee forgives you, Krishna never forgives. Okay, so we have to be very, very careful that we do not offend any Vaishnava. Okay, even if sometimes what happens that we are working together as a team, right? So obviously some differences of opinion will be there. Okay, some friction is always there. Okay, but at no point of time we should try to offend. I know it's a very difficult at times to control ourselves. Okay, even I lose my temper a lot of times, but then we should just try to tolerate. Okay, and just remain calm and composed. And very nice example. I would just like to narrate one another pastime of Ambrish Maharaj and Durvasa Muni. I hope most of you know this, but just for the sake of people who haven't heard the story before, just I will try to narrate the story, and we'll see that how Krishna can tolerate any offense towards himself, but he does not tolerate any offense towards the devotees. Okay, so the description, like this particular story, comes in the ninth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and it goes something like this: that there was a very nice ruler, nice king. His name was Amrish Maharaj, and he was a great, great devotee of the Lord. Okay, so much so that he had perfected this art of devotional service in such a way that he was actually applying all his five senses only in the service of Krishna. Okay, with his eyes he used to see the deities of the Lord. With his hands he used to just clean the temples and all the holy places where the Lord, the deity of the Lord was there. Okay, and then with his legs he used to go to the temples or the places of worship. Okay, and with the nose he used to smell the flowers that had been offered to the Lord, and with his skin, like his hands, he used to touch the deities actually. Okay, so we see that all his five senses, he with tongue he always continuously used to chant the holy names of Krishna, and as well as he used to taste prasadam only. Okay, so this was the level of devotion of Amrish Maharaj towards Krishna, okay, or Lord Vishnu. So, and needless to say that he was also very dear devotee to Lord Vishnu. Okay, so so much so that Krishna or Vishnu was so happy that he had just like given him his Sudarshan chakra. Okay, for Amrish Maharaj, just as a thing of protecting of protection. Okay, to protect himself. So one day what happened that the Durvasa Muni, we know that he is very well-known Muni for his volatile temperament. Okay, just one reason, and he will simply curse the person standing in front of them. Okay, so Durvasa Muni, he actually came to Amrish Maharaj's palace actually, and Amrish Maharaj was being a devotee. He actually being a devotee and a Vaishnava, he just welcomed him with all the Vaishnava etiquettes, and Durvasa Muni had actually come there because the glory of Amrish Maharaj was spreading, in all the three planetary systems. Okay, everyone was just glorifying Amrish Maharaj, and Durvasa Muni had this tinge of enviousness, within him, that he used to think that, okay, I am the greatest sage, of all time. How can someone who is a grihastha can be, glorified more than me? Okay, so with that intent, he had come to actually, like test Durvasa Muni, and also he had a very volatile temperament. So, everything was against Amrish Maharaj actually. So Durvasa Muni went there, and at that day was Amrish Maharaj was fasting, and there was some vrata at that on that day, and so he was fasting, and he actually offered some food uh, to Durvasa Muni. He said that, okay, you have come for the first time, so let me offer you some food or some prasadam. So Durvasa Muni said that, okay, I'll accept all these alms, but just let me have a bath first. Okay. And he went out to some river which was flowing nearby, and he was taking a bath there. And deliberately, he actually, started killing time. Okay. Just to test Amrish Maharaj. And it was a fasting day, and there was a particular muhurta where this fast had to be broken. Okay. And at that time, and that muhurta was, slowly passing by. So Amrish Maharaj also got concerned that what should I do? Like, if I don't break the fast, then it will be another problem. Okay. So he started consulting all his, like Raj Purohits and everyone who were there. And he also didn't want to offend Durvasa Muni by, taking the food before him, actually. Okay. Because that is not the right etiquette. If a sannyasi or a brahmachari or a sage is visiting your home, the etiquette is to first serve them. Okay. And only when they are done, you can, take your prasadam, your food. Okay. So that was the etiquette. Amrish Maharaj never wanted to offend or never wanted to break this etiquette, actually. Okay. So he was in a fix, basically, what to do. So some of his courtmen and the Raj Purohits who were there, they suggested that, okay, you can do one thing, you can have some water. In that way, you will not be breaking the etiquette since you will not be eating anything. And your fast will also be broken. So both the things will be there. So taking their advice, Durvasa Muni drank, Amrish Maharaj drank some water. As soon as he drank the water, Durvasa Muni immediately came back, and he was all furious and said, "How dare you break the fast? In my absence, like you just, you have just broken the Vaishnava etiquette. I'm going to curse you now." And saying that, he just pulled out a mat of hair from his head and threw it down on the ground. And from there, actually, a very ferocious demon, manifested. And that demon was about to kill Amrish Maharaj. But as we have seen, that all the devotees of Krishna or Lord Vishnu are very calm and composed even in the midst of greatest calamities. Okay, so Amrish Maharaj was also completely undisturbed. He was actually smiling, somewhat similar to what Prahlad Maharaj, used to do when his father Hiranyakashipu, used to put him through all the life-threatening situations. Okay, Amrish Maharaj was also very calm and composed at that time. And when the demon was about to kill, at that very moment, Sudarshan Chakra actually appeared, and he just beheaded the demon just like that. Okay, and seeing that his demon is killed, and then Sudarshan Chakra actually went after Durvasa Muni to kill him. Okay, so Durvasa Muni became very afraid, and he started fleeing that place. So he just ran and just hid himself in a cave. But Sudarshan was actually uh, not letting him go, actually. Yeah, right. It was just following him everywhere. So Durvasa Muni, like, since he was a very accomplished sage, he could actually travel through all the three planetary systems and even beyond that. So he immediately went to Lord Brahma, okay, for protection, and just fell on his feet and said, "Please save me. This Sudarshan Chakra is going to kill me. I have offended a Vaishnava. Now, somehow, please save my life." So Brahmaji just, just he said that, okay, this is beyond my scope. Actually, I can't do anything because Sudarshan is the weapon of Lord Vishnu, and it's a supreme weapon. So I just cannot do anything. I can't help you. You can just go ask Lord Shiva. Maybe he can help you. Okay. So he went to Lord Shiva. He went to Kailash and just fell on the feet of Lord Shiva and said, "Please save me." So Lord Shiva also said that, okay, I can't do anything. because this is the Sudarshan Chakra, and any weapon of Lord Vishnu is simply, just I cannot stop that. Okay, this is just beyond my scope. So only person who can save you is Lord Vishnu himself, because this weapon belongs to him. So immediately Durvasa Muni just got up and went to Vaikuntha, where Lord Vishnu is actually residing. And he fell on the feet of Lord Vishnu and said, I know I've committed a very heinous act. Please save me from your Sudarshan Chakra. I promise I'll never do this again. Okay. So at that time, Lord replied that, see, since you have, since you have offended my devotee, and my devotee is very dear to me, I cannot forgive you. Okay. So Sudarshan will kill you until and unless Amrish Maharaj forgives you. So you better go to Amrish Maharaj and beg for forgiveness. If he is okay, then maybe Sudarshan can actually be stopped. Otherwise, there is no stopping it. So Durvasa Muni again went back to Amrish Maharaj, fell on his feet, and started praying for forgiveness. And Amrish Maharaj, just imagine the situation, that great devotee who was a supreme Vaishnava, like, very nice, top class Vaishnava, he started feeling very ashamed, okay, that a sage is actually falling on his feet, right? So out of that, and out of that embarrassment, basically, he started praying to Sudarshan Chakra that, okay, please, I mean, I know he has committed some offense, but it's okay. Like, I am totally fine. I have not taken it as an offense, so please forgive him. And with his prayers only, Sudarshan actually subsided. It went away, and then Durvasa Muni was saved. So you see how Lord can be so protective about for his devotees. Actually, if you try to offend Krishna, maybe chances are that Krishna will forgive you. Okay, but if you try to offend any devotee of Krishna, then it's a great offense. It's a sin, basically unforgivable sin in the eyes of Krishna. Okay? So we should never ever try to offend any Vaishnava. So this is the big learning that we can get from this particular verse. Okay, and another two things, last two things, what Arjun is saying is that if we kill our own kinsmen, then, oh Krishna, sin will overcome us. Okay, because Arjun knew, like Arjun was also a great devotee, a very broad-minded person, and he also knew that, okay, what will happen? We will win this battle. This war will last maybe for a few days, and then maybe after this war, when we are victorious, for a few years, maybe we will be enjoying the kingdom as long as we are alive. And then ultimately, we'll have to suffer the sinful reactions of killing our own kinsmen for several lifetimes in the hellish planetary system. So that is not a good deal, right? Like, why should I just to enjoy a material opulence for a few years on this Earth planetary system? Why should I suffer, sinful reactions in hellish planets for so many lifetimes? Okay, so he said that, oh Krishna, I don't want to fight. Sin will overcome us, and then just and actually it turned out to be true. Like if we read the Mahabharata, we'll come to know that after winning the Kurukshetra war, Pandavas actually ruled the kingdom only for 37 years. Right after that, they left. So this is the mood of the devotee of the class of Arjun. Okay, so this is what we can learn from this particular verse. Very nice learning and some very good, like realizations why Krishna is addressed as Janardana, right? In this particular verse. I'll share my screen again. We'll move on to the next verse. Okay, this one is a little difficult. Maybe let me see what are here. Rupesh Prabhu, would you like to read? Rupesh Prabhu, are you there? Okay, Sakshi Mataji. Okay, please. Just try to follow me, Mataji. I think this is a little tricky, but yeah, let's go.
Okay, Guruji.
Yeah. Papam evashrayed dasman
Papam vashrayedriyasman
atvetanatatayinaha
atvetatnatayina
tasman arha vayam hantu
Tasmanna harya vayam hantu.
Dhartarashtran sabandhavan
Dhatrashtran sambandhavan.
swajan him katham hatva
Rajanam hi katham hatva.
sukhina syama madhava.
Sukhina syam madhava.
You can read the translation, Mataji, and then we will read some portions of the purport. I'll tell you from where.
Okay, Prabhuji. Translation. Sin will overcome us if we slay such aggressors. Therefore, it is not proper for all of us to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra and our friends. What should we gain, O Krishna, husband of the goddess of fortune? How and how could we be happy by killing our own kinsman?
Okay. So yeah, the first part is very important, Mataji. I think you can read from here
Hmm.
uh, to here.
Okay. According to Vedic injunctions, there are six kind of aggressors. One, a poison giver. Second, one who sets fire to the house. Third, one who attacks with deadly weapons. Fourth, one who plunders riches. Fifth, one who occupies another's land. And sixth, one who kidnaps a wife. Such aggressors are at once to be killed, and no sin is incurred by killing such aggressors. Such killing of aggressors is quite befitting any ordinary man. But Arjuna was not an ordinary person. He was saintly by a character, and therefore he wanted to deal with them in saintliness.
Saintliness. Okay. Yeah, I think we should stop here. I think
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, sorry to interrupt, but did we miss the 35th verse? Did we miss the 35th verse? After 34th, you went to 36.
Prabhuji, if you can hear us, you are on mute. Prabhuji, you are on mute.
oh, I was on mute. I'm so sorry. I was on mute. I'm so sorry. Okay. Okay. So we'll see the six types of aggressors. So six type of aggressors. What Prabhupada is mentioning here is I'll read again from the purport and then we'll go from there. The first one is the poison giver. Second, one who sets the fire to the house. Third, one who attacks with deadly weapons. Fourth, who plunders the riches. Fifth, who occupies another's land. And sixth, who kidnaps a wife. Now, Kauravas, we will see that they had committed all these six offenses. Okay, all of them. So, as a poison giver, when Pandavas and Kauravas were kids, right, they were taking Siksha from Dronacharya. So, at that time, we know that Duryodhan had tried to poison Bhim, right? He had fed him poison mixed pudding. And we all know that Bhim had almost died, right? How he came back to life and how he got a strength of 10,000 elephant, we all know, like that's a separate topic of discussion. Okay, but he gave poison, to Bhim. So they were a poison giver. So that is one is gone. Second, one who sets fire to the house. So another pastime, we all know that Kauravas invited Pandavas to stay in a house which was made of lac. Okay, lac is a very inflammable material, right? And then deliberately they invited them to stay there, and then they set the house on fire so that in the hope that that Pandavas will be burnt alive. Okay, but again they were saved by they had Pandavas by uh, Vidur. Okay, so he had given them right information at just at the right time, and also, he had made a plan. They actually they were able to make a escape route. Okay, and finally they had just they managed to evade death. Just in the nick of time. Okay, so the Pandavas, sorry, Kauravas had set the house on fire also. So two gone. Okay, three. One who attacks with deadly weapons. It's needless to say there are so many examples. Okay, that this is what Kauravas were doing their entire life. Okay, trying to kill. So three gone. Okay, then one who plunders riches. Okay, that means one who takes away the riches of some other person. Takes away the money of some of another person, or the money which does not belong to you actually. Okay, so we all know that Shakuni Mama, right? He was the he had this master plan of like inviting Pandavas for a gambling match, and then he had the dice which had been tampered with. Okay, so they cheated basically in this game of dice. Okay, and by doing so, what did they do? They took away all the riches that belong to Pandavas. Okay, so plunder of riches is gone. Okay, and one who occupies another's land. So this whole fight is all about that only. Right? This entire land of Hastinapur, it belonged rightfully to Pandavas, but Kauravas wanted to overtake that, and this whole Mahabharata was because of that. Okay, so five gone. Now, one who kidnaps the wife. So we have two instances here. Okay. One was when Draupadi was forcefully dragged to the courtroom, okay, by her hair, by Dushasan, and then she was then they tried to disrobe her basically in front of everyone. Okay, so that was the first instance. Secondly, there was a person called Jayadratha, right? We had discussed about him in the previous verses, how tactfully he was killed by Arjun, but he was actually a competitor of Arjun in the Draupadi's Swayamvar. Okay, and he had fell for Draupadi right from the day when he saw her. Okay, and needless to say, he was on the side of Kauravas. So Jayadratha, like when the Pandavas were in the Vanvas, during the Vanvas, he had actually tried to kidnap Draupadi. Okay, so we see that Kauravas had actually committed all these six offenses. Okay, so they were aggressors. And what Shastra says that any of these six aggressors, what to speak about all person who has committed all the six of them, even if one has committed even one, the Shastra says that it's okay to kill. I mean, there will be no sinful reactions, in killing such a person. Okay, but that doesn't mean that we should go around killing people like that, taking laws in our own hand, right? This is not Dwapar Yuga, this is Kali Yuga, and we have everything in place, law is there. So yeah, if you see that any person is doing any such activities, thing is that we should go and report, that don't sit quietly. Okay, so that is what is being said here. Okay, so according to time, place, and circumstances, we need to, take a call. Okay, so but yeah, according to Shastras, there's nothing wrong in killing. And Prabhupada is also, is citing the example of Lord Ram. Okay, that Lord Ram was a very saintly person, right? Like he was a Rajarshi. Actually, he was the supreme personality of Godhead himself, right? So, but being saintly does not mean that one has to be coward. Okay, Lord Ram was so saintly that people even now are anxious to live in the kingdom of Lord Ram. Okay, Ram Rajya, we say, okay, ki Ram Rajya kab aayega, like that. But Lord Ram never showed cowardice. Ravan was an aggressor against Ram because Ravan had kidnapped Ram's wife, Sita. But Lord Ram gave him sufficient lessons unparalleled in the history of the world. He went ahead and killed him, right? He did not hold back because of that. So, aggressors need to be killed, basically, right? And, uh, But these things are actually said in a shastra which is known as the Artha Shastra, okay, which basically deals with politics and sociology. So there are different shastras in our, in our Vedic culture, and by reading those shastras, slowly a person is elevated from one level to another, as far as the spiritual progress is concerned. Okay. So there is something called as Artha Shastra, then there is Dharma Shastra at the next higher level. Okay, and then there, the levels they go on increasing actually. Okay, and by studying these scriptures, a person is slowly elevated. Just as a kid, is promoted from one grade to another. That in one grade they have to study certain subjects. Okay, and then when they clear the examination, they move to the next level. Okay, so according to the level of understanding of a particular kid in a particular grade, the syllabus is designed accordingly. Okay, for example, say if a kid is in maybe KG or prep, right? So if we ask them, okay, what is 5 minus 3? So what they will do, they'll count on fingers. Okay, this is 5, so I minus 1, 2, 3, so I'm left with 2. So okay, so 2 is the answer. But just imagine if you ask that same kid, what is 3 minus 5? What will be the answer? 3 minus 5 hota hi nahi hai. Right, and the teachers also say the same thing. Okay, this question is not applicable. Okay, this is not the right question. You will be only given that the first number is always greater than the second. Okay, why? Because at the when the kid is in KG or prep, like that is the level of understanding of that particular kid. Okay, I mean they cannot take comprehend something more than that. Okay, but the same question if you ask to a kid or a teenager who is in say ninth or 10th grade, they will immediately say there's something called as negative numbers. Okay, right? So that means same thing goes for the shastras also. If we are at one level, then there are certain shastras which have been recommended. If we study those shastras and act accordingly, then slowly we will be elevated to the next level. We will become eligible to read the next level of shastra. Okay, but the ultimate shastra is the Bhagavad Gita. Why? Because it is the summarization of all the Vedic scriptures. Okay, when Ved Vyas was writing this particular, when he was writing all the Shastras and even Mahabharata also, right, he knew very well that in the age of Kali Yuga, people will not have time to read all these Vedas and all these Upanishads, all the Puranas and everything, right? So he simply summarized everything in the Bhagavad Gita. Like he knew that, okay, this is something which has been spoken by Krishna himself. Okay, so let it be here. And if anyone reads only this much, okay, they will simply perfect the human life just by following the instructions of the Bhagavad Gita. Okay, why? Because it talks about the ultimate goal of life. The ultimate goal of the life is to break the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. Okay, and this is why we have got this human life. Okay, so this is the chance for us to break this cycle of life, death, and rebirth, go back home, back to Godhead. Okay, so right, and another thing is that Arjun, like he was hesitant to kill, and he was then talking that okay, Artha Shastra says this, but Dharma Shastra says that okay, we should be very saintly and we should let go of these offenders. Just let's not kill them. Okay, like that. Now just imagine that the compiler or the author of all the Vedas is standing right beside him. Okay, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, "Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishto matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha Vedascha sarvar aham eva vedyo Vedanta krit ved videva chaham." That means he says that I am seated as Paramatma in everyone's heart. From me comes knowledge, remembrance, and forgetfulness. Okay, matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha. Vedascha sarvar aham eva vedyo. From all the Vedas, I am to be known. Okay, Vedant krit ved videva chaham. I am the compiler of the Vedas and the Vedanta. Okay, this is what Krishna is saying. So when the author himself is standing right beside you, and when he is asking you to kill, okay, then why should we have any doubt in the mind, right? But just look at the situation of Arjun, that he was so bewildered that he was actually trying to argue with the person who has written the Vedas through Vedic arguments. Okay, so this was the situation. So yeah, these are some nice takeaways from this particular verse. We'll move on to the next one. Let me share my screen again. Okay, so this is the 37th and 38th. Okay, and I think after this we will be concluding the session. So yes, next who can go? Hmm. Okay, Rupesh Prabhu, would you like to read?
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, would you like to read?
Yeah, Prabhuji, Rupesh Prabhu is actually doing his classes from his office.
Okay.
So colleagues are all around, customers
Okay, no worries, no
all
worries, Mataji.
around. He is always in the listening mode. I'm so sorry. I
Sure.
can read on his behalf.
Yeah, please go ahead, Mataji.
Yeah.
You are comfortable in English, right?
Yeah. It's Prabhuji, it's about chapter. Can you just scroll a little bit up, Prabhuji?
Okay. Is it okay now, Mataji?
Yes. Yadi api etena pashyanti लोभोपायपहता चेतसा कुलक्षय कृतं दोषं मित्रद्रोहे च पातकम् कथं न ज्ञेयम् अस्माभिः पापाद् अस्मान् निवारयितुं कुलक्षय कृतं दोषं प्रपश्यद्भिर्जनार्दन.
Yeah. You can read the translation, Mataji.
You have to scroll down, Prabhu. Let's rotate my phone one second.
Is it okay?
Yeah. O Janardhan, although these men, their hearts overtaken by greed, see no fault in killing one's family or quarreling with friends, why should we, who can see the crime in destroying a family, engage in these acts of sin? Purport by His Divine. Shall I continue, bro?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Shall I continue reading?
Yes.
A
Mataji.
Kshatriya is not supposed to refuse to battle or gamble when he is so invited by some rival party. Under such an obligation, Arjuna could not refuse to fight because he had been challenged by the party of Duryodhana. In this connection, Arjuna considered that the other party might be blind to the effects of such a challenge. Arjuna, however, could see the evil consequences and could not accept the challenge. Obligation is actually binding when the effect is good, but when the effect is otherwise, then no one can be bound. Considering all these pros and cons, Arjuna decided not to fight. Hare Krishna.
Very nice words. And you know what? We will take a very important takeaway, for our personal lives as well. Okay, from this particular verse. So let's see what can we derive from this. The first thing, the whole thing is that this whole Mahabharat, like why it was happening, like majorly because of that gambling match, that happened, between Pandavas and the Kauravas. Okay, so why did Yudhishthir Maharaj in the first place agree to the gambling match? Okay, if he had not agreed, then this whole battle wouldn't have taken place, right? But as we can see from the purport, as Prabhupada explains, that that is the Kshatriya dharma. Okay, if a Kshatriya is being challenged by someone to a game of to a gambling match, okay, then they cannot refuse, basically, right? And even the same thing goes for the fight also. Like if someone challenges a Kshatriya for a fight, maybe it's a full-blown battle or a one-on-one fight, then still they cannot refuse. Okay, they have to do that. This is a Kshatriya dharma. Okay, and we have seen that Duryodhana wanted to fight, right? So he rejected the peace message which was brought by Lord Krishna on behalf of Pandavas. Correct. And he had outrightly rejected that. He said that I am not ready to hand over even a land which is of the size of the tip of the needle. What to speak of 5 villages. Right? This is what Duryodhana had told Lord Krishna. So that means he was eager to fight. So in that scenario, what was the the way forward for the Pandavas? They had to accept the challenge because they were all Kshatriyas. Okay, so has come, obligation is there. Okay, now, but Prabhupada says that this is it very a kind of a binding situation for anyone. Okay, a lot of times we say that okay, I was obliged to do this. Okay, But then this is a very nice, teaching or a life lesson which Prabhupada is giving, through his purport here. And we just see that how nice Bhagavad Gita is. We get such important sutras from here. Clearly, what he's mentioning in this, the last line of his purport, obligation is actually binding when the effects are good. Okay, but when the effect is otherwise, no one can be bound. Okay, that means Arjun, like, although he was a Kshatriya and the dharma, his Kshatriya dharma said that, okay, if someone is challenging you for a fight, you have to do that. Okay. But then was he really bound by those challenges? No. Because he could see that the ill effects were there. His entire family would be destroyed if we, like if they accepted the challenge. Okay. So very nice takeaway that we can take, that obligation is there. If obligation is binding only when the results are good. If the results are bad, then no one is bound by any obligations. We can simply reject it and walk away. Okay, and this is what Arjuna was trying to convey to Krishna. That, oh Krishna, I don't want to fight. Okay, let them. I can see that that the wrongdoings and what is the outcome. Okay, if they are blinded by the greed, then let them be blinded. I am not eager to fight. Okay, this is what Arjuna is saying. So some very nice and key takeaways from all these 5 verses that we have seen so far. I would like to pause here, and I'm open for questions and any realizations that all of you have. Please feel free to ask the questions or share your realizations. Sakshi Mataji, I see your hand raised. Is it you want to ask a question or?
No, nothing. It was, I think, last time I had raised it.
Okay. Anyone? Okay. If that is the case, then let's conclude the session today. It was nice meeting you all, I think, after a week's break. And we are very, close on concluding the first chapter. Maybe one more session or 2 more sessions will be required to finish off. And then the actual teachings of Bhagavad Gita will start. Till now, it was just an introduction. It was just, about all the things which were going on in the battlefield and how, Arjun got bewildered by seeing the army of Kauravas and his relatives in that army. But now the actual Bhagavad Gita will be given to us, by Krishna. Okay, so let's brace for that, and please keep attending the sessions. I'm really happy to see the attendance, and I personally feel that it should grow each and every week. But yeah, so please feel free to bring all your friends and relatives. Tell them that we have just started. We have not missed anything. Like they will not miss anything. The actual Bhagavad Gita is still remaining, right? So just try to bring them to these sessions and just see, like, if we are able to pull the attendance up to maybe 30 or 40, then, that's nothing better than that. Okay. So thank you so much all. See you again next week. Hare Krishna.